Hello, it's Mr. Egg and I'm back in some back alley, but this back alley leads to one of the most famous sois of Pattaya. At times I've called this the greatest soi, the greatest street in the world, and I still think that. Yes, Soi Six. I'm going to be taking a walk down memory lane again. If you like this video, then give us a like. We're heading for those 3,000 subscribers, so subscribe to the channel and you'll get videos in your inbox every week. Saturday night, and I'm going on holiday the next day. I do my last shift at work, close everything up, head home. Next day, Sunday morning, down to the airport, get on a plane, head towards Suvarnabhumi Airport, or Don Muang before 2006, get in a taxi at the airport, and it would bring me around about here. This is Soi 6-1, which runs parallel to Soi 6, and it's where the taxi used to drop me off because it's a one-way street. It goes that way, and Soi 6 goes the other way, and it used to drop me here, the Queen Victoria Inn, and this is where I used to stay when I used to come down to Soi 6. Today's video is not going to be about memories of me as a bar manager. It's going to be about memories of me as a holiday maker. And you might have memories of either Soi 6 or Walking Street or Soi LK or whatever. And if you have, drop me a line and let me know. You can message me on Facebook Messenger. Anyway, things have changed a little bit around here. These trees, in fact, the whole of this hotel, which you may be able to see, wasn't here. I think this got built about 10 years ago, maybe. All these trees have been planted, and along here there used to be some bars, about 6 or 7 beer bars, and they were great because they were a little bit away from Soi 6. And after I'd walked up the fire exit stairs, looked my suitcase up there, I used to come to one of these bars down here and have a little drink. I do remember one time I was engaged to be married, believe it or not, and didn't quite work out. And I think on the day before I was supposed to get wed, I thought, no, this isn't really going to work out. Hired a car, came all the way down to Pattaya, parked it up on Soi 6. And I came right here and met a few friends of mine who were nice shoulders to cry on. Anyway, lots of fun and games in Soi 6-1 bar. Yeah, it was called Soi 6-1 rather unimaginatively, and it was right about there. If you've stayed at the Queen Vic or any of the bars or the guest houses on Soi 6, let me know. Things haven't really changed with the Queen Vic. The signage is still there. I remember I used to show some of the Thai people that sign and say that this was the Palachani Angrit, the Queen of England from many years ago. I don't think they're really interested in history though. I think they were just interested in what's in my wallet, to be honest. Anyway, so I'd stop at the Queen Vic, up the stairs here. Queen Vic is still a great place to stay. Let's get onto the main drag of Soi 6 and see what's happening. So this is the main drag of Soi 6 as it looks now. I've got some photographs of Soi 6 back in the day. And when I say back in the day, for me, that's about 2003 to about 2008, 2009. I'll show you those. Looks a little bit different. There's a lot more signs and a lot more neon down here than there ever used to be. That's the Queen Victoria where I used to stay. I think I used to stay on the 2nd floor, so I would have been up there somewhere. And I used to sit there on the balcony and look down, and all these bars were open with girls outside. And this was one I remember. This is now called the Quickie Bar. It's closed at the moment, unfortunately. But I do remember back in the day, it used to be an internet cafe. Do you remember those? Yes. Before we had smartphones, we used to keep in touch in the internet cafes. And I remember I came here one morning, about 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, and it was just basically like a bit like a classroom with tables sort of in lines, and there was computer monitors, and you could pay for like half an hour and then just check up on your emails and what was going on in the world. And so I was sitting there on my AOL account or whatever it was then, I don't know, Excite or whatever, you know, searching on Yahoo. And I was sitting there and I could hear this strange noise, like a sort of a jingly-jangly of jewellery or like bamboo or something. I was thinking, oh, I don't know what that is. Anyway, did all my business online, signed off, went and paid. And I looked behind me, and there was a lady boy sitting on the computer terminal behind me who was putting on a bit of a cam show. And as I looked over, she was showing what she'd got, and there was a bloke on the screen who was looking at what she'd got and doing exactly what she was doing. So, an interesting tale from what used to be an internet cafe. It turned into Quickie Bar. In fact, Quickie Bar, I think, was one of the first bars that sort of pushed back a little bit and opened up at the front. It was open at the front and it had a bar just at the front, and you could either sit at the front or you could go into the back. At that time, that was a little bit revolutionary for this Soi, because most of the bars had the bar inside, and there were just girls on seats outside. It was all enclosed, and you could go inside. It was kind of what I'd call a 60-40. 40% of it was outside. They had this nice little sort of cocktail bar. You could sit there, and the rest was behind. So a little bit of a historic bar, Quickie Bar. As you know, most of the bars now are open bars on Soi Six. Some people like that, some people don't. Maybe you want to comment on that down below. But yeah, Quickie Bar. Many years ago, an internet cafe with all sorts of things going on. This is one of the things that has been here for years and years, decades. Jimmy Mac's, place where you can always get a full English breakfast and other food, even right through the afternoon into the early evening. I always used to come here for breakfast. At the time, before I used to come to Jimmy Mac's, an English breakfast in Pattaya back in the late 90s, early 2000s, used to consist of some of those packaged sausages that you get from 7-Eleven, a couple of slices of ham, sometimes baked beans, because obviously I'm English, so we eat baked beans with everything, and a couple of really congealed eggs. And for some reason you had some salad, so it was a piece of lettuce, some tomato, and some fruit. And that was your English breakfast in most places, until places like the Sportsman, that place on Soi Chaiapum, I forget it now, Crazy Dave's, and Jimmy Mac's always served a really, really good breakfast, and obviously it still does. Always a little bit put off by the Liverpool memorabilia on the walls, but hey, we'll forgive them for that. It's always been good quality food, and it's nice to see still there, and my mate's still there. Hello, you okay? Liverpool, yeah? Champion? Yeah. This year, mate, hey. Never mind. West Brom, mate, eh? Nice to see old friends still here. Let's go and have a walk down here, and I'll show you where I used to live. So I used to love Soi Six back in the day. I still do, by the way. But back in the day, I used to come on holiday, have a great time. Soi Six, Second Road, and all those beer bar complexes. I then used to go home, and I used to dream. I used to dream about being back in Pattaya and having fun on holidays. And maybe one day I thought maybe I can retire and live there. Well, guess what? I actually ended up living in Pattaya, but not just in Pattaya. I actually lived on Soi Six, and I'll show you the room I used to live in. You can go up there, Mr. Cameraman. This is the Pussy Club. Now, before it was called Amsterdamage, and I can't remember what it was before then, but it was all enclosed before, a bit like a bar in Amsterdam. And skip over the satellite dish, and there with the open window, that used to be my window. I used to actually live in there. It was quite a famous room. It had some famous occupants. Who lived in there before? Well, I think Sully, if you remember him, a bit of a personality. Sam Bates used to live on there, in there. Bagel used to live in there, and so there's been some real celebrities living in the superstars room there on Pussy Club. I do remember at the time I was working at Baby Dolls on Walking Street, and if you're interested in my time as a go-go bar manager, I have got a video of that, 10 years as a go-go bar manager, and I'll put the link up on the top of the screen. Every night I used to walk out of here, and either cycle on my bicycle or walk along beach road, sometimes get a BART bus. And Horny Bar next door, which is still there, used to be a ladyboy bar at the time, and there used to be ladyboys outside trying to entice customers into the bar. I'd leave here about, what, 6:45, something like that, go to work, do a full day at work, come back, it'd be about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and you know what? Still, there were girls from that bar trying to get guys in there, and it's always sort of stuck in my mind that ladyboys have got this sort of male work ethic, that they just really try hard, a lot harder than the girls sometimes. Anyway, one story I remember about the Pussy Club, and it was a great time I had in there. Every now and then, sort of walking around the bar and upstairs and all that, I used to find tubes or half-used tubes of lubricant. And I remember reading this sort of tip online that you could use that, or sometimes people in the armed forces that wanted to shine their boots for parade used to use stuff like KY jelly to shine their shoes. So I used to never ever buy boot polish. I used to shine my shoes with all the old tubes of lubricant that I used to find hanging around a bar, and obviously they weren't shoes anymore, they were slippers. I came to Soi Six last night, I had a night off, thought I'd just come and say hello to a few people and have a few drinks, and you know what? The vibe of this Soi is still the same. Soi Six is as good as it's ever been. Yes, it's changed. There's one thing I don't like about the Six as it is now, is it's a little bit loud for me. Yeah, I'm an old man, and I'm a bit audio sensitive, so the loud music does grate on me a little bit, but other than that, it's just as good as it ever was. I did say at the start of this video that it was the greatest Soi in the world, the greatest street in the world, and I stick to that. Soi Six, long may it rain. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like. We do live streams most Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. GMT British time. If you'd like to join in there, we just talk about anything. So come and join in the fun on that, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you very soon.